3, 2, 1.
The last international break for 2024 has come and gone, and the club football has officially returned back to our screens in full glare. In fact, yesterday being the 22nd day in the month of November 2024, we had Friday night football in the Bundesliga, in the Spanish La Liga, and of course in the Ligue 1, the French Ligue 1. In the Bundesliga, we had Bayern Munich versus Augsburg. That game ended 3-0 in favor of Bayern. Harry Kane scored all 3 goals. He scored a hat-trick. In fact, he keeps scoring. He scores goals. He scores goals for fun now. And I don't see any club hindering him from winning his first ever major trophy at club level for Bayern. It's a good one for him. He's doing well. Now, moving on to the games that will be played today, especially in the EPL. It's going to be match day 12 in the EPL. 11 games have been played so far. Liverpool are topping the league. I've got other teams, following them gradually. Now, so the first game that will be played today is going to be played by 1:30 p.m. It is Leicester City versus Chelsea. The game is going to be played at the King Power Stadium, and Maresca will be returning to this top. This is a top he knows very, very well. He'll be returning to this top, this time not as their manager, because as at May this year, he was the manager for Leicester City, and this is 23rd day in the month of November. Barely 6 months from May. That's barely 4-5 months from then. He is a manager for a different club side, a bigger and a higher club side. I understand most of their fans will not be too excited about their former manager coming back, and all that, because I feel they had high hopes. He helped them to come from the championship. He helped them to gain promotion back to the EPL after one season. They were relegated, right? He helped them to gain promotion back, and they thought probably, yes, this is their knight in shining armor. He's coming to take them to big places, but then he left them and joined Chelsea. And Steve Cooper, the former manager for Nottingham Forest, is their manager. So far, Leicester have not been okay this season. They are on 15th place with 10 points. Why Chelsea? Well, comparing where Chelsea was last season and where they are now, it's been a huge upgrade. Chelsea are on 3rd place with 19 points. They've been impressive this season in terms of scoring goals. The only game Chelsea didn't score a goal in all 11 EPL games that has been played this season was against Manchester City. That was the first game of the season. It ended 2-0 of Man City. Every other game that has come, after that game, they've scored goals. So I'm not expecting a goalless draw against Leicester today. It's going to be both teams, definitely. Both teams. I don't know the Chelsea defense line that will turn up. I don't know the Fofana that's going to turn up. I don't know the Colwill that's going to turn up. I don't know the Sanchez that will turn up. Those are the 3 key players that that tend to give us issue. And the Gusto as well. I understand that Maresca tends to play an inverted 10, using Gusto to play forward. But then I don't know. Gusto has had question marks, on his name this season. It's as though he doesn't understand that he's just the only fit right back. Probably it's entering into his head and said, fine, even if I don't play well, you can't solve me, because Rhys James is always in the hospital. Rhys James is studying medicine and surgery in the hospital. He's always in and out of the hospital. So right now, Rhys James is out injured with hamstring and stuff like that. It is just Gusto. Hopefully Gusto turns up. Hopefully the defense line turns up. If they turn up, and of course Sanchez turn up, then I see Chelsea getting a clean sheet against this struggling Leicester City side. Yes, we've got other games that will be played today. After the 1:30 game, we've got over 4 games that will be played by 4 p.m. We have Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa will take on Crystal Palace. Bournemouth will take on Brighton, and Everton will take on Brentford. Then Fulham will take on Wolves. We have over 5 games that will be played by 4 p.m. Let me take it again. Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest by 4 p.m. today. Aston Villa will take on Crystal Palace by 4 p.m. Bournemouth will take on Brighton by 4 p.m. Everton would welcome Brentford by 4 p.m. Finally, Fulham will welcome Wolves by 4 p.m. The last game of today will be played by 6:30, and that is Manchester City versus Tottenham. Yes, that game is going to be a very, very tough game, because in the last 4 games, Man City has lost, and in fact, one of the games they lost in these last 4 games was against Tottenham in the Carabao Cup. So, Manchester City with Pep signing a new deal now, a contract extension. I feel that is done and dusted. All their mind now will be playing this game against, returning back to winning ways. They cannot afford to lose. Tottenham as well. Well, Tottenham lost their last game, but against a City side at the Etihad with Haaland scored during the Nations League games, like the last international break. He scored a goal. I don't see a City side, getting the defeat against the Tottenham at the Etihad. I see City winning this game fair and square. against Tottenham. For Fulham versus Wolves, they've been underwhelming. Just one win in the last 11 games they've played so far. And Fulham, they've been high flyers. They've been high flyers there. I see a Fulham winning this game. My prediction: Fulham should be winning this game against Wolves. Everton versus Brentford is going to be a tough one, but Brentford should be winning this game against Everton. Bournemouth Brighton is another very, very tough game that we played by 4 p.m. Bournemouth lost their last game. Brighton won their last game against Tottenham. So the energy, it's there. They're all pumped up. I'm talking about the Brighton side. They're all pumped up to go ahead. A very stubborn Bournemouth side. But let's see what happens. It could end up in a draw. Nottingham Forest is a game that you will not afford to miss. Arsenal, they've been underwhelming in the last few games. They've drawn a lot of games. They've dropped points, and this is a side that all eyes were like, fine. With Manchester City, struggling, this is a side that also they should be topping, at least on second place, fighting for. But I know the season is still fresh. We still have over 26 more games, so they're about 27 more games thereabout for the season to end. But then 9 points gap against a Liverpool side that I don't see dropping points is a huge one for Arsenal. So Arsenal cannot afford to get another draw. They cannot afford to get a draw here. They cannot afford to get a defeat in this game against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest so far, they have been one of the impressive sides under Nuno Espirito de Santos. They've been great this season. Just 2 defeats. The 2 defeats they had this is against Newcastle. And if I'm not mistaken, they were a side that thrashed Manchester City. They gave not even Manchester City. They are the side that thrashed Liverpool this season. Yes, they thrashed Liverpool at the Anfield. This is a very strong fortress for Liverpool. What happened? A Nottingham Forest came there and got a goal to nil, a win against Liverpool. They are going to Emirates. The Emirates is also a tough for the Gunners. Now, like I said earlier, Arsenal under Arteta cannot afford to get a draw, let alone a defeat. If they get a draw or a defeat in this game, that is as good as the league just bye-bye. It doesn't make sense because Man United just got a new manager. I'm not trying to say, okay, fine, he's going to get, but then I don't think he wants to remain in 14th or 13th place. He's a winner. He would want to try as much as possible to get as many points as possible. So the people, the clubs in from first down to second, or the first down to fifth, to try as much as possible to get a win this weekend in order to boost their chances of finishing towards the upper end of the league table. So what are your predictions for today's games? Is Leicester versus Chelsea by 1:30 p.m. Arsenal will take on Nottingham Forest by 4 p.m. Aston Villa will take on Crystal Palace by 4 p.m. Bournemouth take on Brighton by 4 p.m. Everton will take on Brentford by 4 p.m. Fulham will take on Wolves by 4 p.m. And finally, Manchester City versus Tottenham. What are your predictions? Kindly state your predictions in the comment section. I see Chelsea and Arsenal winning their games. Well, let's see what happens. Kindly state your opinions or your suggestions or your predictions in the comment section. My name remains Iberi, and remain blessed. I wish you all the very best. And may the best team win. We're going to enjoy the game of football, and of course, we'll have our View Center series at the end of each game that will be played today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.